of guys remember those. But speaking of face masks, Tom, did you see this Danny Hamlin face mask when he won?
The plastic one.
No, yeah, that's his. His mask is his face.
Oh,
he had it personalized with his face and a smile. Now, my question is for you folks watching, you see Danny's big old goofy smile on his face mask. Genius marketing idea.
Right.
So he's on all kinds of stuff right now with this thing. My question is, Terry, if he would have lost, would have had a sad face mask?
Probably. Yeah, I guarantee you.
Is there a frowny face mask in that car right now in his pocket somewhere? Yeah. I just need those things I need to know. Did they hand it to him, in the last pit stop? Just very specific details because they obviously thought about this one. So did they think about, hey, if I don't win, am I going to walk around looking like a jackwagon?
That looks very, very disturbing.
It does, doesn't it?
I mean, if he had something else, but it's like, what?
He's going to be memed for the rest of time for that right there. Every NASCAR, everything. This is how I feel about this. This is how I feel about that. So Denny, be prepared for the Denny Hamlin photo of him and his mask on about everything for the rest of your life when it comes to NASCAR. But NASCAR is back, Terry. In Darlington this week, we had, let's see, well, you can probably buy it. Let's see, 3 layers of protection.
Probably buy it. We don't need that.
We went to Darlington this week. In the first race, Terry, yes, I did cuss and scream and was very upset with
Jimmy Johnson.
No, it wasn't his fault. It was the fool in front of him. We talked about it all week. If
there's one car there.
Right.
One. Right. And I got to get right next to him.
No.
He could have passed him 3 cars down.
No. Small details, Terry. Terry always skips the details. Now,
yeah, okay.
The details are the guy in front of him, Boucher, I think is his name, is driving so bad he's all over the track. He's in dead last, and he's about to get lapped in segment 1. Tom, this ain't segment 2 or the end of the race.
Yeah,
he's only had time to get lapped in 1 segment.
Yeah, I read a little bit about this.
Yeah. GTFOTW. Get out of the way, Boucher. Here comes the train. 1. So if you'll notice in the video, Jimmy had to change lane 3 times trying to get around this Yahoo because what he was doing, because of stage racing, was trying to not get lapped before the end of the stage, which was also dumb because he had got to wave around as one of the last cars, if I would imagine, right? So, 2, get out of the way. Now, what happened, Jimmy went low, went back high, Boucher went high, and then Boucher was like, I'm getting out of the way. So he tried to get out of Jimmy's way again. Jimmy dove low. Boucher, I think, tried to get out of his way again, went high, and Jimmy had already started going high, and that's when he caught him there against the wall. It was all stupid all together from all around, all of them. And I'd waited. I just screamed at the TV, Terry. I waited 7 damn weeks or 8 weeks for this, and you run in to this dodo running around every lane on the track on the last lap of the first. Everyone is to blame. Everyone. So for race 1, it was. And
then Jimmy said, "I apologize, guys. It's my fault."
Well, Terry, if you know Jimmy Johnson, he's never blamed or got mad at anyone in the history of his career.
He should have not got mad at anyone.
You don't think the last place car should just not try to get out the way when the train's coming through and have pick a damn
where's
lane?
Your spotter?
How about pick a lane?
Go low.
Pick a lane.
Go low.
They didn't. He was all over the track. That's the thing. He painted if there was paint on his wheels, turn 2 would have been purple or whatever paint that it was.
I sat there
the whole
when
turn.
that happened, and I told myself, I said, Kevin, just cut the television off.
I didn't cut it off. I walked in the house in disbelief because what had just happened was my wife and kids had just left to go to their nanas for a little bit. And so I had no one to yell at, fuss, or complain to. I didn't want to get on the phone or text anybody because I was just so mad. So I just went in the house and screamed some cuss words at the dogs probably and yelled at them. That scared them a little bit. Like, what in the world? It's just all around us. The whole thing was just stupid. It wasn't all Jimmy's fault. It wasn't all the other guys' fault. It was a combination of. He could. The thing about Jimmy, my thing is, in they've made some bad moves. Their cars are good. Obviously, Chevys are doing good. he could have lifted a little bit if when he saw the guy all over the place, he should have realized. And I think what he made a mistake was maybe I should probably lift here, let this guy not wreck it. He might even wreck himself the way he's all over the track, and then finish this lap and get it over with. That's the mistake he made. This is the last dang lap. Let's get it in, get under the caution, get it over with. And
I'm kind
he's
of
trying
worried
to lap
about
a
him.
guy.
Really, to tell you the truth, Kevin, I'm kind of worried about him because in the Roval a few years ago when he was in the chase and going to make the chase, and then he had that bump up with Martin Truex at the very end of it for both of them trying to win that race.
Truex
first
needs to
one.
get out of the way.
Yeah. And then in this one, when all you got to do is be low and you're going to be number one in phase one and gain all them points, then you end up with nothing out of it. I mean,
He's 8th in points. Never mind. That's the results. I think he's 12th in points.
I'm starting to worry about him a little bit.
Starting to work. Well, it is his last year, Terry. He's announced his retirement.
I know.
But I think they're going to be okay. The second. So let's go to the first race. Was won. Crap, I was just on the results. Where'd it
Kevin
go?
Harvick won the first
Kevin
race.
Harvick won the first race. And so he
He's a cheater.
well,
I picked him last week. Yeah.
his 50th win. Okay. Terry, you picked him. I picked Hamlin. So we both got a win in the Darlington races this week. But the Harvick situation, they got good cars. He's got a good crew chief. And Hunter has a different opinion on how they attain those results.
Look, man, just based on, I know he won it last year. He was really good last year. But after every race, it seemed like there was something inspection-wise that they were really questioning, and whether or not they were going to come down on him or not. That was the big question. I know the dip in the windshield was a big one last year. Aerodynamically, didn't really make sense for him. I think he had a problem with one of his spoilers last year as well, maybe being a little bit not like too close to not being regulation what they wanted it to be. He just had a lot of brush-ups last year. I won't take away that he's not a good driver. I know it's just, you separate yourself skill-wise.
You ain't trying.
But I'm just saying, if you do have, if you're being questioned, there's something questionable after every post-race that you win, you start to raise eyebrows. That's just how it is. So
the question I have with it, Hunter, is this. I know before the race, they're going to check your car to make sure everything's balanced. If it's not, you do like all the rest of them. You go to the back. That's where you're going to start from.
That's what they
like
did with Kyle Busch.
He went to the back. But at the end of the race, when it is done and you fail inspection, that should come back on you. I'm sorry, we taken the victory away. Whoever finished second is
that
theirs.
was one of the problems I had with it last year. He did fail a post-race inspection. It wasn't pre-race; it was post-race inspection. They didn't take the victory from him.
That's what I'm saying.
They didn't vacate it.
You
from
got
him.
to start doing
It's kind of
something.
like the Astros thing, right? Obviously, you cheated. We let you keep
But
the
it's
crown.
okay.
Yeah, hey,
Keep the trophy.
it's just a piece of metal.
And you
That's
wonder
what
why.
he said.
And you wonder why Tom Brady deflates footballs.
He still got the Super Bowl.
Still got the Super Bowl trophy. So I mean, I don't know why we're like this. I don't know why we cater to cheaters, but it seems like we do. I mean, that's why you ain't cheating,
I
you ain't
hate
trying.
to be
There's
that
truth
way
to that.
because
the only people anybody holds any cheating to account is Bonds and McGuire.
steroids users. They hold everybody
every
to
other
steroids
cheating
users.
is okay.
And everybody loved
Bonds
and
has never
everybody
been caught.
Every other cheating
and
is
everybody
okay.
loved watching them hitting the ball 550
Yeah.
feet.
And see, I hate to be that way because it does take away from Kevin Harvick for me. It's just, but that's unfortunate. That I will always remember that. I'm not a big race aficionado, but all I used to hear about from my cousin was, it was something questionable post-race inspection. Something was questionable post-race inspection, but he still won.
Yeah, if
but
you
it was something
fail,
questionable.
you should lose. I mean, that's the problem. I understand at the start, if you fail that inspection, it's easy. We move you to the back. It's simple. That I can handle every bit of that. But at the end of the race, if you fail that inspection, then that means you did something wrong to your car while it was
on
the track. So I have a hard time with that.
I just hate to do that. I hate to be that way, but it'll always be like a black stain. Kind of like now with the Astros. It'll follow them forever. I know they're still champions, but it'll follow them
In my
forever.
opinion, they're not champions. But I mean,
me too.
Well, okay. So
And each one of them players are not a champion.
at
They're
the
not
age of
champions.
37, Harvick had 22 victories. In the last 7 years, he's had 28 victories.
Because he's cheating.
I'm just saying he's got a good crew chief, Tom.
I mean, I'm just saying.
They don't take the trophy.
He's
They
got
don't
a good
take the money.
car.
There's no.
So let's talk about Wednesdays. Speaking of, let's talk about Terry's man here. So we're in the Toyota 500. The Chevy is in third. Hauling behind is Chase Elliott, America's favorite driver, who replaced Terry's favorite driver was Earnhardt Jr. Now America's favorite is Chase Elliott, according to the polls.
That's what they say.
Chase
runs in the family.
Was blowing the doors off of Kyle Busch and chasing down the leader, Denny Hamlin. And Kyle Busch sees the doors being blown off, takes an immediate right, and wipes out Chase Elliott with rain coming. They could see the rain coming around the corner. Kyle Busch wrecks the Chevy. The Toyotas, Tom, finished 1 and 2. Denny Hamlin had the oldest tires on the track, was in the lead. Elliott was hauling booty, about to pass him within a lap or two. And then all of a sudden, as soon as he gets right to the front of Kyle Busch, Kyle Busch is, remember, the greatest driver ever, according to some of these fans.
Teamwork makes the dream
accidentally took a dead
My
right.
deal like this. If
And
Chase
hooked and
Elliott
wrecked Chase Elliott.
was hauling butt, my
Let's-
driver would have never hit him.
They never caught him.
He didn't catch him. He was passing him.
Yeah, and he just wasn't quick
Let's
enough.
hear the Terry's shenanigans about how the second place Toyota car raced the Chevy, who was about to pass 2 Toyotas for the win.
Gosh, Chase
In the
Elliott really
Toyota-
that good though? If he can't hold tight that steering
In the
wheel off a
Toyota,
little nudge,
in the Toyota nudge,
That
the
little
Toyota
nudge.
500.
in that little nudge, he
He
couldn't
bumped
just.
him,
He could.
and he couldn't handle it.
I mean, hey, Jesse said when he was on here, he liked the bumping and grinding that came with NASCAR.
That wasn't bumping. That was hooking and wrecking. Terry.
Well, I don't know.
I cannot
I
help.
beg
His
to
spotter
differ.
says you got enough room.
It's the spotter's fault now.
I mean, hey,
Listen, hey,
Jeez.
look,
I mean, the
teamwork
smoker-
makes the dream work, and he got Denny his victory,
I've
so
been
that
waiting.
JGR could get a bonus today.
I've been waiting days to hear Terry's
and Denny Hamlin,
explanation.
for him, he's lucky that they stopped it because Kyle would have got him.
Probably.
Terry.
Seriously though, I'll say this: it's hard for me to decipher between Denny and Kyle really who the better driver is because they're both really
Yeah, they
good.
both good.
They're both
Well,
really good.
the thing I like about Kyle, and that's one of the reasons that when I was a Earnhardt Jr. fan, I stayed with him because I was an Earnhardt fan. So when he left, I kept asking myself, I said, well, who do you pull for? I'm not pulling, and nothing wrong with Jimmy Johnson. I like Jimmy Johnson. He's as natural as a good boy show that you ever want to stick out there. He's not going to bump nobody. He's not going to force himself in there to do anything. He's going to run the laps and be out front and win his championships.
Tom, that's
But-
a weird way of saying he's so damn good he doesn't have to wreck people to win
But now-
7
Yeah.
championships.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he is. He's that type of driver.
It's a weird way to word that, Terry.
But on the other hand, I said, I want a guy when the race is on the line and 2 cars leave enough room for him to go through, he's going to take it. And Kyle Busch is going to take it. He's not going to let you have it. If there's enough room for him to go through,
You like his aggressiveness.
yeah, he's going there.
That's what I like about Kyle Busch.
Jeff Gordon had there was some folks who were critical of him because he didn't actually do a lot of that. But he still won 84, 80, whatever, 93
I thought it was
races.
90.
93 races.
and that's the reason that Kyle Busch couldn't stay with Hendricks on account he's tearing up all the cars.
right.
Everybody didn't want him. Like, my Lord, dude.
Tom,
I mean, quit
have
tearing
you,
up our
seen
cars.
the video of the wreck yet? So,
No, I've read about it. Basically, he just drove into him and
He's
just
blowing
spun
him
out.
away. He's right beside him. He's not blowing
Terry,
him away.
that's how you pass somebody. At some point,
Terry,
you're beside each
may I
other.
view the evidence myself, please?
You can.
I don't know.
There's
All right,
the
thank you.
evidence.
So
It might be
like I
faulty.
said, Tom,
Might
I'm going
be
to give you the
faulty.
backstory. Hamlin's leading the race. He's got the oldest tires.
Okay.
Okay. Busch has got semi-fresh tires. Elliott's got the fastest tires and the fastest car.
this is one of those strategy things where he stayed out when everybody else picked.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because the
All right.
rain's coming.
Okay.
He's hoping,
Okay.
they said it multiple times on the broadcast, he's hoping for a caution
Okay.
or the rain to come.
Okay.
Okay, so Hamlin's waiting for one of those two. Hamlin is really good driving the car with old tires. He's one of the best, they said, at keeping the lead. That was going to be a strategy for a while. Chase Elliott was in third at this time. Like I said, hauling booty. Obviously, Busch is being passed right here, and he's on the bumper of the leader. Now watch Kyle Busch. Has nothing to do with what's about to going on, but he decides he thinks he has something to do with it.
You got room. See?
No, he just hit him.
That was going too fast for you to see that, Tom.
That's going too fast.
He
for
just
you to
turned
see.
up into him, Terry. And
We keep watching. Tom, you keep your eyes
my.
on it for just a minute as the highlights come.
Well, look at that car now. It's done.
Listen,
Finished.
all I know is I think he had some room. I don't know about you,
I
Terry.
think he did.
I think he had some room.
My daughter liked the M&M's car the other day, but so
I liked his
I do
paint
have
scheme.
the kids brainwashed so much. Now here's Chase's salute. He's going to get out and say hello to Kyle Busch in a second. But I've got my kids so brainwashed into being Jimmy Johnson fans now. I'm playing the video game, and I'm playing with the 43 car, and they are literally pulling against me, against Jimmy. They're pulling for Jimmy Johnson on the video game against me. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? I'm feed y'all. But
This is the best part, though. This is the best part.
Chase tells him he's number one, Tom.
yeah.
He was
That's
actually number
us.
2 in that spot, but he ended up being.
Don't give him free advertising. Good.
I was trying to hit a button.
Get him off the screen.
There we go.
Hey, Terry,
you got to
I
play
mean,
games with
We
these.
can just agree to disagree.
All right, Thompson,
I
what do
guess.
you think about the red?
He got to see it so fast. He
he
don't
wrecked-
remember what
I
happened.
mean, it's just good old. I look like Days of Thunder. What was his name? Russ Wheeler type stuff there, man. Come
Tom,
on
you don't
now.
even have on
Tom,
your
that
glasses.
was aggressive driving.
No, that's called wrecking somebody.
You didn't even see
They
it.
always want
You
you to
don't
be
even
the
have on your glasses.
passive driver.
Terry,
No,
he put
aggressive.
his right fender into his left quarter panel to spin him.
On
The
a straight-
spotter
on a
said
straight
he had
on a
enough
straightaway.
room.
He was trying to
On the
hit the
straightaway.
turn early.
On the
That's
straightaway.
what it was.
That's all. Because when you go to the turn, you want to hit. Go from the low end to the
Yeah.
outside.
Here's another-
Ain't
He,
that
he
the
was
strategy?
he was
You go
winding
down the
up.
straightaway on
He
the
was
inside,
winding
Tom.
up
You
to
get in the corner,
slingshot
you go to the
himself
But
down.
plus, too, you gonna kill somebody driving like that.
Well, he didn't get killed.
I mean, but dude, you don't.
Chase Elliott, he look how happy he was. He called him number one.
Yeah.
He called him number one.
He said, "You're the
He
best."
knows who the better driver of the two are.
I'm just telling you, man. You don't like when I see stuff like that. That's the equivalent of Draymond Green kicking somebody in the genitals.
What's
Whoa,
wrong
whoa,
with
whoa,
that, Tom?
whoa, whoa, whoa!
Tom,
Don't
what's wrong
go
with
that low.
Now Terry defends
no,
both
no,
of them.
no.
I know.
Like,
But it's the same
he-
thing.
Like what is?
I'm not
who
good.
is
I'm
this
not
guy?
good enough, so I resort to non-civilized tactics.
Tom, here's the problem. If he would have just stayed in line like Kyle Busch, get in front of him, and let Kyle and Denny run for the championship, he could have finished third.
Here's some more.
He tried to do one of them things. He ends up finishing 39th. Hey, it's all on him.
No,
you
Terry.
did it, buddy.
Terry.
Gene, I saw
Tom,
your comment.
Tom, here's another angle.
He had plenty of room to go. If he actually had the faster car, he had plenty.
Oh,
of
we
room.
got to go back. See,
It's
we've
about to
already
show-
took him out. He had to get
We've-
in there.
Did you see what Terry just say? We've
he
already
had
took
to
him
get
out.
in there.
He had to get in.
See all them cars coming?
They're 3 wide right there. And
Why
Busch
let
had
all
to get
them
to the
pass you?
outside.
Yeah, he had to get there.
Here he goes, Tom.
Yeah. See
Look at
here?
it, hauling butt around the outside of him, blowing by him. Oh God, I'm
All
gonna end
right,
up
you
third.
got room.
Yep.
Oop,
That's
oh,
all it
I'm
was.
sorry. That's all it was.
Gene said maybe we can get a KTC broadcasting car to race at Cherokee.
Yeah.
Gene, we have to win at Cherokee first to be able to afford the KTC broadcasting car to
See,
race at
here
Cherokee.
would be the problem. If we were on a track, you and Kevin, we'd leave y'all hanging. Because me and Hunter taking y'all out. We're
Oh,
going to
God.
the front.
And then there'd be a fight. Just go ahead and tell you.
No, you
Okay.
wouldn't. You'd be like him,
We'll
saluting
throw,
us.
hey,
Let
we'll
me
throw
put it this way.
fisticuffs, but
You
only
better
one
wreck
of
me on
us
the
is
la-
walking
You
away.
better wreck me on the last lap, Terry, because if there's any laps left, I'm waiting for you to come around.
Y'all would
Hey,
be saluting us as
listen.
we went by.
I'm just saying we can finish. We can take it up with each other with fisticuffs after, but only one of us is gonna be holding the trophy. I can promise you that.
How funny or great would it be if they had some type of, the
Fight Club.
Well, not
NASCAR
let's
Fight Club.
not really hit real fist like UFC, but
Oh,
the blow up fist or something like that.
sock and boppers
The
or
soccer
whatever.
bop,
these
yeah,
are.
where you could
Hulk
hit it.
hands.
They
Put
could
Hulk
really,
hands on
they
them.
could go at it for a minute and they could take out their frustrations. It would be fun, funny.
I'll tell you what.
The fans would just go
If you put
nuts.
those
they'd
Hulk
probably be
hands with-
packed watching
Wouldn't
it.
they? If you put that up on the big screen, the fans would lose it. Watching Kyle. What if you could watch Chase? Have a challenge. You can have a challenge once a year where you challenge somebody to a
Well,
post
look.
race.
I remember what Jesse told us about the
Fight.
story about his grandfather. His grandfather was a race promoter for a racetrack. I can't remember where it was. It was a local one. And he told the boys, he said, look, if you're going to fight, do it on the front part. Okay, where the fans can see it. He said, if
He
you
said, do it on the front stretch.
on the front stretch, he said, do it
don't
where the
fight in
fans
the
can see
pits,
it.
don't fight back there.
Don't fight in
right
your trailers.
here.
Don't fight in the pits, because if you do, I'm calling the cops. But if you fight right here, I might slip you a little extra money. All right, let's go, because that's gonna promote it. The fans are gonna get into it.
That's it.
That's what the promoters want to do.
That's like fight promoters.
So Tom, unbiased judgment. Did Kyle Busch wreck? Chase Elliott.
We're talking to somebody who don't like racing.
Chase Elliott was gonna. I never said I didn't like racing, Terry.
Tom, in that caution that they caused that caution is when the rain out was.
Yeah.
So they stopped the race immediately.
What
then.
it looked like it looked like one car is blowing by another while on your way by. Boop. Here's a little love tap, and you put them in the wall.
Hey.
Which you could freaking hurt somebody too, man.
Kyle.
I mean that's the you could hurt somebody.
Spotter says, Kyle, you got room.
Does Chase Elliott have children?
I don't think he does.
I mean, these guys got kids. They got families.
I mean, Kyle Busch does. This is the only thing that's going to come out of this, though. Seriously, Kyle Busch has got to watch his rearview mirror the whole time this next race.
He said, "I know what's coming to us."
That's exactly right.
Did Busch get did he get fined?
No, they ain't gonna find that.
That's
racing.
That's not racing.
That's racing.
By
not
law
racing.
of the
All
sport,
right, JP,
were they in
get on
two
that
cars
mouse.
racing against each other?
That's Dale Earnhardt. He
That's dirty.
says, "Get out of the way. I'm
tell you
coming
what.
through."
If I would have raced,
Listen.
he might have whipped me, but Dale Earnhardt and I would have.
I will say this:
Just gonna do this
Kyle
stuff
is
he
doing
did.
everything in his
He
power
would've
to
fought.
become the new Intimidator.
No, I mean,
Yeah, they're gonna change his car to black.
Because Junior
coming up.
didn't live up to it. He didn't. Junior is a good old country boy. He is not intimidating at all.
I just tell
He's
you.
also 5'0" like Jeff Gordon is. but that's
JP, you're
beside
on the cameras now. That mouse in front of you right there is all you, buddy. You're in charge now. I had to show some internet stuff for a minute, and now there you go. Good morning, JP. You turn your mic on when you say morning, please.
Morning.
Hey, what you been doing? Like, you don't have sports that isn't on for you, so that hasn't affected you really at all.
No.
So
He said no.
and all your jobs are essential. So has anything much changed other than you're the only one going? I know you said you're the only one really leaving the house and going out and about now. So are you the gopher? And
Basically.
JP, go do whatever we need.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, how's your breakfast?
It's good. It's really good.
All right. Well, we're gonna get just relax. Get back. You're on the cameraman now, JP. So we'll just making sure you're in charge there.
All righty.
All right, buddy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Seems like he's got to wind up somewhere, Terry. There's somewhere on his back or somewhere you got to wind him up.
I can never figure him out. When he
There's a
gets here
snake in my
early,
boot.
when he gets here early, this is what we get. If he gets here late, he's asleep. So I'm not quite sure what do we ever get from JP. I'm scared to have him take out my groceries at Publix. I'm serious. I don't know where they'd be. They might be in somebody else's car, for all I know.
So JP, do you know what Mount Rushmore is?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna have a Mount Rushmore question for you in just a little bit.
Okay.
You think you can follow along?
I hope so, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to get to you in just a little bit.
All right.
All right. Get back to playing on the cameras, and we're going to continue our NASCAR section here, talking about this weekend's schedule. Coming to Charlotte, Coca-Cola 600. We've got, let's see. Oh, that's not my button. There.
Charlotte
Yep.
That's
Motor
right.
Speedway.
Charlotte.
6
As
o'clock.
long as the rains don't hit.
Real quick, I'm going to back up the Wednesday race of Johnson. He moved from 37th to 8th. I think the mistake he made in that race wasn't him. I think his crew chief messed up, Terry. You remember near the end of the race, they're in that spot where they're running out of gas and tires, and at some point they're going to start have green flag race stops. So for folks don't know, you'd rather pit during the caution when everyone else is pitting, so you're not losing massive amounts of space on the track. If a caution comes out while you're in the pits, you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah,
and
you're
you
done.
got to go in the back of whatever line you is in, and the guys out there, you're a lap down. So when they came back out, it wasn't like 5 cars were on the lead lap at one point, and everybody had to take 20 cars had to take the
drive around.
the drive
Yeah.
around. So sorry, JP, I didn't mean to hit that mouse. So one of the things I was yelling at the screen was about when one of the leaders came in. I don't know if it's Bush or I can't remember who was. Hamlin first came in. No, Hamlin never came in. They pitted, and they started. Larry McReynolds, started talking about the pit strategies or what are they going to do. And I started yelling at the screen, "Stay out!" Because I've been playing the game a lot during this break with the kids. I'm just like, I know he's got 5 or 6 laps left of gas. If you're running 10th the whole race and you're not catching them, it's hard to catch people and pass people at Darlington. He's already passed 29 cars. So passing the last 8 is a little bit different than passing those yahoos in the back.
Yeah.
So I was yelling at the screen chair. I don't know what you think. Stay out, stay out, stay out, stay out. Hope for a caution or just pit later. Because if you wait to pit later, you're still in the same situation if you pit now. You're going to come back out at the end of the thing, 10th, 12th, 15th. And that's what happened with him. If he would have stayed out, it wasn't 2 laps after those guys started, the dang caution come out. Yeah. And I was like, see? And he would have been one of those top 5 cars at Darlington with up a lap going into that last little part. And I'm not a crew chief or anything. I can't turn a wrench or anything know about it. But at that point, that's the strategy that I was going with. As someone who was running 10th to 12th to 15th, as someone who hasn't won in 90-some races or whatever it is, and the 7-time champion, you're trying to get in, and after what happened on Sunday, wouldn't you think a new crew chief would try to make that type of move, because making the move he made was just saying, we're just going to keep moving, maybe get 2 more spots. By pitching what he did, he's saying we're going to get 2 more. If you take the chance, you can win the race.
Well, he thought at the time that he did it, and people have to understand you are racing at Darlington.
Right.
Your tires do mean a little bit, but not as much as some other tracks would be. And when you're sitting back there, are you the first one coming or are you not the first one coming? If the guy in front of you comes, then you might go with them and try to beat that guy by out to be the first one in behind the cars that stayed out, to move forward. But I don't know and I'm like you, when you're 10th, 11th, and 12th, to me, I don't think you have another choice on my end. I think that he might have did what was best or what he thought was going to be best.
I think the crew chief did what was safest.
He probably did.
Because he pitted with the leaders.
And he didn't want to stay out there and then everybody else come in and then everybody passing him, down the stretch.
Well, yeah.
So, when you're 10th, 11th, I understand him coming in, but that's probably the best choice for him. If you'd have been
that was a points move, not a race winning move, though.
Yeah, that's true.
For my perspective on that decision, other than Chase getting wrecked there, the finish in the first race that wasn't sponsored by Toyota, with no Toyotas wrecking anyone, was Ford, Chevy, and then the Toyota 500, Tom, was Toyota, Ford, Toyota. So
you're saying it's a conspiracy?
Not a conspiracy, just saying. Terry, you're so worried about him. Terry, you're so worried about Jimmy. He was the highest finishing Chevrolet in Wednesday's race. What did you think about them dodos putting the banners on the wall at Darlington? And they hit the banners and scraped them off.
I didn't have nothing wrong with it. I think now we're going through where people are doing all kind of different things. And to me, it was not a good move. But
Gordon was making a point. You don't do that at Darlington.
That's what I'm saying. But
dodos. Because you're supposed to paint them on at the racetrack. So what happened? They use those stickers that they do the race cars and everything with, and everything else in the world with now. And somebody scraped the dang sticker off the wall. And then it got in the hoods of a couple of the drivers. I think Hamlin. It bounced back to Clint Boyer. And caused some problems. It could have ended someone's day easily, and just a silly / bonehead. I don't think they'll have that up at Darlington anymore.
I don't think so.
They could probably do that at certain tracks and certain corners where there's nothing there, but you can't do that at Darlington at all.
You can't do that.
There's a black stripe all the way around.
Now the other race, you watched the one Thursday, the Xfinity, where
I did not get into that because it changed so many times. I went out to dinner.
Kyle Busch finished second in that one. Also,
yeah, it's nice.
He was banging with the guy getting ready to win the race. So
why didn't he wreck him?
Well, I give him a lot of credit for that because of all times after this guy wins, I was more for this guy to win that race than Kyle Busch was.
Chase Briscoe won.
Yeah. because he had just lost his baby a couple of days earlier. His wife had a miscarriage or something happen, and then he goes up and wins this race. And, I mean, I appreciate what he said, because first thing he said, hey, God works in mysterious ways. He said, I just lost my baby, and then I win this race, So
Well,
congratulations to him.
Well, good for Kyle for not wrecking him.
Well, he banged him a few times. Yeah, they hit each other quite a few times.
Maybe, I don't know how I feel about Kyle being down there. I think there's a certain level of guys. Like, I understand some of the NASCAR, you need practice. The sponsors want certain guys running and this and that, but Jimmy doesn't run down there for a lot of reasons. And Kyle and there's a level. If you're going to put Kyle in the top, if you're going to say he's top 4, top 5 of certain, I just think the guys winning the races in the upper level shouldn't be racing in the lower levels, because if you're winning in the upper level, why are you bothering taking wins away from guys who could be putting trophies in their houses, and that'd be the biggest or best thing they ever win. And you're over here racing for championships. Like, as soon as you win a championship or maybe even a race in NASCAR, I know it's just silly for me to even say, but they should not banned from running a lot of races, maybe once a year as some type of special sponsor event or something like that. I don't know. Our boy Jesse finished 36. Hunter, have you talked to him about anything that says vibration?
Well, I haven't talked to him since, but yeah, they called the race early for him. His team decided that. I watched his post race video he did, just to update on why he left the race early and finished where he did. Said that the team just did not deem it safe to be out there anymore. Apparently something was coming loose.
It says vibration on his on his report.
So I know from his video, he said that obviously wasn't how he was hoping the day was going to go and how it was going to end, but he's looking forward to Charlotte.
There is only 2 Fords, Terry, running in the Xfinity. Everything, it's all Chevy and Toyota, mostly Chevy and a few Toyotas. Busch running the Toyota. Only 2 Toyotas finished in the top 10. Briscoe, the 2 Fords finished 1 and 4 in the race. So we'll wonder where all the Fords are. I guess somebody could explain that to me one day on that. I don't have a clue. All right, Sunday's race, 6 o'clock, Coca-Cola 600 will be here on WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM, 400 laps, 600 miles. That race, of course, is Memorial Day race. It'll be on the real TV, not cable TV, Fox, and, of course, PRN network here and on KTC Broadcasting. .com. And let's see, I want to make sure I get Wednesday's schedule. Is the all uniforms 500. That's 500 kilometers, Tom, right? 300 something 11 miles roughly.
A little bit more. It's like 0.62 kilometers, 2 miles.
It's 300. They've got it actually listed now, what they're doing. 310.6 miles is what it says.
It's 0.62 miles equals 1 kilometer.
205 laps. So for an example, it's almost exactly half the distance in the Coca-Cola 600. The 600 is 400 laps. The Wednesday race is 205 laps. So that's going to feel
sprint.
It's going to feel like the old fall race. So even though they still went 500 laps in that, 500 miles in that, so it's even shorter than that, Terry. So they're replacing Richmond and Chicagoland with these races. So what do you see in the Coca-Cola 600 and or the Wednesday race? I think it's going to be more. It's almost going to be like the All-Star race because that's pretty kind of like the distance in that kind. I don't know the exact distance that the All-Star would go, but I would estimate something to that nature. But the 600, a lot of times, you could have the best car for a while, and it's such a long race that you end up burning something out or something happens. But at Charlotte though, Terry, the guys in the top 5 will stay in the top 5 for most of the time as well, right?
Yeah, that's Martin Truex. He led probably 590 laps one time out of the 600 they were. But Martin Truex is going to be hard to beat down there. Jimmy Johnson will be good down there. He always is. Mm-hmm. Kevin Harvick will be up there. I don't think you'll see a Denny Hamlin. I don't think he'll be at the front. Kyle Busch is probably a 5th. in that range. He has a hard time getting to the front down there. But as far as the rest of them, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, I think they'll be in your top 10. But, I mean, those are your guys that you hear all the time. Any other newcomers, I think, that can make a run up to the top? Watch out for Matt Kenseth. I think this is a race that he could be at the top, since he's come back. But as far as the Roval, I just think the Rovals is for Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, Jimmy Johnson was there. I mean, I just think Charlotte is a good place for your driver, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, he does it well. He likes it. I love the Roval. I hope I hope everything's okay for keeping that in the fall and they get to do that. Here's the odds for the 600. So Tom, I want you to pick first here. We got Harvick 4-1, Kyle Busch 6-1, Truex 6-1, Elliott 8-1, Denny Hamlin 17-2, Keselowski and Logano 10-1, Alex Bowman 12-1, Byron 21, Ryan Blaney and Jimmy Johnson 22-1.
Chase Elliott, he's going to bounce back.
8-1.
I actually have more respect for him now.
Also, Terry Buescher, who wrecked Johnson there in that first lap, he wrecked like 5 laps later somebody else. So I'm going to throw some more blame at him as well. Hunter, who you got in the 600 mile race here in Charlotte tomorrow evening on KTC? Harvick, Busch, Truex, Elliott, Hamlin. They haven't qualified yet. This will be the only race that NASCAR is doing qualifying for.
I was about to say, are they even doing qualifying? If they wouldn't have done qualifying, what would they have done? Just draw straws?
Take the top 12 and don't they pick out of a hat?
Well,
Ain't that
so
what they're doing?
the first in Darlington, the first race they took the top 12 and then they basically drew out of a hat.
All right.
And the next 12 drew out of a hat, and the next 12 drew out of a hat.
That's fine.
And then Wednesday's race, they took the top 20 and inverted those guys.
Yep.
So if you finished 20th, you got the pole. If you finished 21st, you started 21st. So they inverted those on Wednesday. I would imagine Wednesday's race will be the same way. They'll invert the top 20 for Wednesday. But tomorrow, I think they're doing qualifying today. Because I would see them, Terry, I guess this is my guess, is that for that race being so long, these crew chiefs really need to make sure that the cars are kind of set up to last that long. I mean, 600 miles at the RPMs they're running is
if you ask
an
me,
achievement.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to take Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Blaney with the upset, 22-1. So that's out on a limb there. Terry?
Mine's easy. Martin Truex.
Martin Truex, he does run well in Charlotte. Look out for Harvick. If Mr. Childers finds the right combination, they could run well. Jimmy will run well. However, I got a feeling I'm kind of on Tom's world right now. One of these Hendricks guys are running extremely well. Maybe it's time. Elliott ran well last year in Charlotte, I think, and then Roval at least. I'm going to go with Chase Elliott as well to win. Jimmy makes a run at it. Don't be surprised if he wins one of the two races, but I would say, like Terry said, he's excellent in Charlotte, and if he's got a hot rod, he's going to be in competition with that. His crew chief worries me. I think he could have made a decision to go for chance to win. Just stay out a couple laps. Where you lose and you're sitting there in 14th, 12th. He wasn't like he didn't have a hot rod where he was hauling people down. Like that's a different decision. You're running 12th and you got a hot rod. Even if you take, I know nobody's taking 2 tires there, but at some point your crew chief has to make some type of decision, especially at a track where you're going to have a lot of cautions. All right, so that's our NASCAR preview for this morning. We're going to get into some more stuff here in just a little bit. Some other fun stuff. I think Hunter's got a special a blue Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, he does.
Right? Don't you?
I got a blue Mount Rushmore for Hunter.
What do you think about What do you think about the Cleveland Browns letting fans call plays during preseason games?
That is awesome. I'm about to send in the play. We'll talk about that in just a minute. JP, let's get ready to take a break on Sports Talk, KTCBroadcasting.com.
Thanks for help bringing the economy back, one local purchase at a time.
Kind of uplifts you and you feel better.
It's the greatest comeback of all time.
Shop local with What'sUpShopper.com, Carolina Country, and The Boss. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93%